Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. And I also want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to those for elect, hearing this word in truth and in sincerity. So I came across this this post, all right, and pretty much thought to myself that these people really don't understand what's going on, especially concerning a nuclear blast. And more importantly, obviously they don't know the scriptures, because the scriptures talk about nuclear bombs and the lake of fire, which is the nuclear destruction. And they want to believe that either this thing is not real, nuclear destruction is not real, or if it does happen, it's not going to be so bad, which that's false, man, because this is the anger of the Lord. This is his indignation. It says, if you're near a nuclear blast, you will die with no pain, because the explosion will kill you faster than your brain detects pain. All right, but that's not what the scripture says. See, once again, they want to believe, that when the nuclear attack happens, all right, they're just gonna pass, to the spirit world, freely, and the Lord, is gonna make these people feel that pain, just like he did Sodom and Gomorrah and the other neighboring cities. All right, they felt that fire, just like during the time of the flood. All right, they felt the pain of getting flooded, man. Okay, and likewise with the nuclear blast, they're gonna feel that pain, that fire, the judgment of their wickedness. It says, 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, into which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. All right, nuclear destruction. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. It says that the elements shall melt with fervent heat, man. So that shows you right there that it's not just going to be a big explosion and then, you turn into dust. It says we're going to melt. Okay. So this picture right here, what it shows is somebody disintegrating, right? Somebody disintegrating, and you see the nuclear mushroom right there, mushroom cloud right there. But scriptures talk about how they're going to melt, man. Okay. It says, verse 11, see, the Lord not letting y'all get off too easy. Not letting you wicked people get off easy. Or he's going to make sure y'all feel that fire. Verse 11 says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Okay. It says, verse 12, looking for and hastening until the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Okay. So not only is the Lord going to melt people with the nuclear destruction, also fire from the chariots. All right. Because the scriptures talk about, the fire coming from the chariot. So not only do you have the nuclear blast to worry about, but you also got to worry about, the angels, the chariot from, it's like the fire from, Yahweh Shai's chariot, all the fire just, just coming down at this place is going to melt everything. Like I said, the Lord not going to let you off, this easy. All right, especially for Babylon. This is Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 15. It says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. You see? So the Lord is coming, with those chariots, to pour fire here upon, the wicked. Verse 16 says, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. All right. So, the nuclear fire, right? The nuclear blast, that's going to be judgment along with the fire from the chariots. Okay. Because when you go to The book of Zechariah 14. You know, these people they want to believe something else, man. But when the truth come out, this is what's gonna stand. It says Zechariah 14 and verse 12, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. You see, so you're gonna melt while you're standing. All right, and of course, this picture does show that this person is on his feet while his body is disintegrating. But that nuclear blast or in the fire, the laser beams, is gonna have you melting, man. See, it says their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. You see, and that's in this picture is showing, it's showing it accurately because he is on his feet as he's being disintegrated. All right, but it's not going to be painless. Once again, it says if you're near a nuclear blast, you will die with no pain because the explosion will kill you faster than your brain detects pain. And the Lord's going to make sure you're conscious for that moment. It's like, what the scriptures say in the book of Job. In the book of Job, chapter 4 and 9. No, it's like 4 and 9. What was it, 4 and 9? Salakia, give me a moment. Not typing in. It's in Job where it says, he that is slain with the sword is better than he that is slain with hunger. Because the point I want to get with that, is, being slain with the sword. Oh, Lamentations 4 and 9. I was in the wrong book, Salakia. Lamentations 4 and 9, it says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with the hunger. For these pine away stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. Because when you're slain with hunger, you're feeling the effects of starvation, which is slow, agonizing death. All right. Whereas slain with the sword, you're not suffering. Like an example is, somebody getting shot in the head. That person more than likely didn't feel that pain before he passed away. That was a slow pain. Okay. But getting shot, shot in the head, that person's out of there. And that's what this post is saying. Like the same death is what is what they're saying you will experience. Once again, they're trying to minimize the fear of a nuclear blast, which that's not going to happen. Okay. You want to fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai, not say, well, if I'm not going to feel the pain, why should I worry about it? Salakia. Jeremiah chapter 6. Salakia, man. No, not 6. Wrong chapter. Jeremiah chapter 51. Right here, Jeremiah 51 and verse 1. It says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. Okay? That destroying wind is ultimately the nuclear destruction. Okay? And this is the same wind when you read the book of Revelation. I want to say the 7th chapter. It talks about the angels are holding back. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1, it says, "And after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth." You see, that wind is the nuclear destruction. Nor on the sea, nor on any tree, because before the nuclear destruction, of course, you're going to have all kinds of judgment happen. And then that destruction is going to be the icing on the cake. That's going to be the final judgment to end this place, man. But nevertheless, no, if a nuclear blast were to happen, you're not going to die immediately. The Lord going to make sure you feel that pain. All right? And let's go to Revelation 14 and 9, because he says that he made sure to put it right here for those that worship the image and take the mark. Revelation 14 and 9, it says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire." You see, that right there is a cut. It says, right, if you're near a nuclear blast, you will die with no pain, because the explosion will kill you faster than your brain detects pain. But right here, it says that you're going to be tormented. All right, you're going to be tortured in that fire. Okay? It says, "And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name." You see? So, no, if a nuclear blast were to happen, you're not going to die immediately. You're not going to die, you're not going to die quicker than your brain can detect the pain. No, the Lord's going to make sure you feel that pain. All right? The Lord's going to make, the only people that's going to escape this judgment is the Lord's elect. Everybody else, you're out of here. You're going to feel that fire, okay, and you're going to suffer. You're going to be tormented in it, like the scriptures say. All right? But, that's pretty much the point. And Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to those for elect, hearing this word in truth and in sincerity. Until next time, I say shalom.